We'll all work together.
Welcome, welcome, welcome. The Google gremlins are attacking from every angle. We're having a hard time getting one of our guests in, and I hope we can get John Ellis from SEO Wise to join us, because he's a vital piece of part of the conversation we want to talk about. But welcome to Music on the Plus, and this week we're going to be talking about some of the obstacles and challenges that exist for people in the music industry, and who better than the Fab Phil Aston. That's a green room joke. Phil, tell us a little bit about you. Give us a nice intro on all the amazing things you've done.
Okay. Well, I was born. No, we won't go back that far. It's 2 o'clock in the morning here, so I have to say that because it makes me feel better to start with. My name's Phil Aston. My company is called Genius Loci, which actually means spirit of place. It's a Latin word which my wife Sue Aston came up with, and the whole aspect of our business, although we do lots of things from digital marketing to SEO and all sorts of stuff. We began as a record label in 1999, and we were put together to actually help promote Sue's music and her CDs, because on the one hand technology has changed so much. As an independent musician, you can do that stuff. So we did. And in the last 10 years, 15 years or so, the music business has changed beyond all recognition. And so although we still do lots of digital stuff, we have embraced Google Plus, as it's given us a fantastic opportunity to broadcast our music live. And also on the Plus, I'll find another lower third here. I run a little community called What's on Your Music Collection. So not only do I'm involved in music, I actually still buy tons of it, which I know not a lot of people do, but I do here, buy tons of music. So I'm very pleased to be invited to this show, and the reason it's great to be here is that we have spent a long time learning how to put on music shows. So if you've got any questions tonight, as this hour progresses, I'll do my best to answer those. That's me.
And yeah, and Tom Rolfson wrote about one of your shows, the Sue Aston show, that I think he wrote it was the best music hangout he's ever been to. What did he write exactly?
It was along those lines, because I was asking Tom in the Ronnie Binzer's mastery group how to do music shows, and what I was trying to achieve at that time, I didn't realize that no one had really done it. So he was telling me to do, like, overlay the music over a YouTube show and all sorts of different things, and we just persevered and did hours and hours and hours of testing, and I think it was on show number 3 where we invested in a lot more equipment, that we reached a level of sound that it seemed to really hit a note, so to speak. And and we'd had all this praise coming in from all around the world. It was a fantastic moment, because when you sat in your own living room doing a show, you just think, oh, that was okay, I hope. You have no idea, really. So it was just fantastic feedback, and especially for someone like Tom.
That's awesome. I was on a show with Jana Nystrom the other day, and she's from Finland, and it's she said it's a very, very small town, and she said that Google Plus is like her window to the world. And I know that you and Sue and Dan, where are you at exactly?
We're in Cornwall, which is almost a little land of its own in the far west of the UK, in England. And yes, I produce the Sue Aston show and Dan Aston show. It's a family thing, and we have other shows in the pipeline. Where my background is, I'm also a lead guitarist, and I've been in lots of bands over the years. So I'll be wheeling myself back into it soon. And also we have Lee
Sunday,
as well.
Yes. Sunday the 30th, or the 29th, you will.
Yeah, indeed.
Have you been played on a live music hangout yet?
No, and in fact, the challenge for the Aston family show will be that while myself, Lee, who's going to be making his appearance for the first time. Sue and Dan are playing. We've got to try and train the cats to do the production for that part of the show.
Well, yeah, you've got about 10 days to train them.
Exactly. Yeah, it's fine. Yeah.
Yeah, that's we know you're the producer for that show, so if you're playing,
exactly.
That out.
I'm known as Phil the Hand Aston because it's only my hand that usually.
Yeah, I always see your hand coming up.
So the hand will be attached to the rest of me that day.
But we definitely want to hear some more about your obstacles and challenges. But I do want to introduce John Ellis from SEO Wise and Alexandra. Last name, Alex?
Ricky Gonzalez.
Ricky Gonzalez.
Yeah, Christine was nice enough to make me a lower third, and for some reason my computer doesn't want to open it. It doesn't want me to have a lower third.
Obstacles and challenges, and John. We're having we still cannot hear him. So, nope. We're having an
That's weird because it doesn't say.
How about now?
There we go.
For some reason, it's working on the mobile device, so that we're on my Note 3 right now.
Well, I figured it out that it was not anything you had done wrong. We're using different apps, cameraman app, all these apps. So, you were hidden from the broadcast. And as long as you're hidden from the broadcast, you cannot unmute. So I had to unhide you, and then you're able to unmute. So that's just another, we just learned it today. And and now he's gone.
I think he's going to try and jump back in as his computer.
All right, so now I need to show him in the broadcast, and now he should be able to unmute. Hello?
Hello?
There we go! So that's the problem. It was hidden from the broadcast, and we had to show him before he can unmute himself.
Well, we know how that goes. There's so many different things to click and with all of this stuff. And I know I was listening to you talk, Phil, and I watched your show at the beginning, and it's really impressive when you can do as good a quality without bringing in the juggernaut of technology, right? But what we're doing for Gemba is still a Frankenstein machine of patched together technology to make this function. So.
And we haven't talked about that yet. Let's talk about that. Gemba 2014 is going to be a huge event. It is the School of Rock Battle of the Bands at Summerfest, which is the world's largest music festival, right?
That's how they bill it, anyway.
And we are going to be, John and Alex are going to be boots on the ground at Summerfest, at Gemba 2014, and we are going to be broadcasting them live for 3 days here on My Music Hangout. So, and John has a setup for this that you wouldn't believe. He was testing it the other day. I was watching it on YouTube while he was testing. He's got, instead of like a big screen with the film strip, he's got windows of people all over the place, and he's pulling in tweets and Instagram and Facebook, and it's just going to be crazy. You want to tell us more about it, John?
Sure. Thanks for the lead-in. I've been a kid in a candy store since we got this. Yeah, I mean, seriously, I think, Alex, has it been every day that I send you guys a note? Oh, my God, I can do this. Holy crap, I can do this.
I just have to say, I get what would be, for John, 6:30 a.m., and when I had him getting up that early for Glass in the Class, he was not nearly this excited. I'm getting a bunch of messages like, oh my God, I can do this and I can do this, and I am not tech savvy at all, so I'm just like, great, cool, that means nothing. That means nothing to me. That means nothing. But John, okay, quick synopsis. I'm cutting you off in 2 minutes. What are you doing with technology?
Thank you, Alex.
Yeah, no, that's 2 minutes. So I don't know exactly what Phil's setup is, but I know you're working with an HOA, and I know you're doing something to improve the quality of the sound as you pull it through that HOA. What we're doing is basically what the Obama Hangouts were. So we take a Hangout, doesn't necessarily have to be a HOA, but we could use one if we need to use apps within the functionality. We don't broadcast the HOA. We pull that into another system. Right now we're using Livestream Studio, I have the live stream HD51. It's a vast improvement over Wirecast, both in software functionality and in just ability to use hardware. So this machine is designed to facilitate a network broadcast. So we pull in a Hangout, bring in everybody we need in the conversation, and then we push that out using multiple Chrome boxes to blue box individuals within the Hangout, and then I pull those Chrome boxes in as HDMI inputs to live stream, and then I do a picture-in-picture so that I can broadcast any combination of individuals within the Hangout, along with media and other things. But the live stream studio suite is what gives us this ability, and you know, it's going from keeping everything encapsulated within the HOA, which is very convenient. I mean, there's so many awesome things just in the HOA, and you can push a 720 stream in an HOA. Once you take that and move it out to live stream, though, you do crazy crap, and that's where we're at, is the crazy crap. But this is the prototype box of past Wirecast. So that's what we're doing.
It is crazy. I mean, and it's gonna, you know, I think when people see it, it's hard to describe it. You described it to me a couple times, and you know, I didn't know what, I was looking at you like you were insane. But you know, once I saw it, I was like, wow, that's gonna be cool.
Thanks. Yeah, live stream, the software allows me to bring in RSS feeds, CSV. I can tie it to a Google spreadsheet or Google Drive document, and then pulls in that data in the same way you would pull in XML data. So then I can manipulate it, change fonts, put backgrounds on it, do anything I want with it. So you could literally create a spreadsheet with links to images and content, and I could build a PowerPoint presentation for you in live stream with it. Pretty handy. The automatic Twitter feed, you saw that the other day, Christine, and that's going to be really fun. I want everybody using hashtag Gemba2014 because we're going to be able to pull in your tweets. Anybody that watches The Talking Dead or At Midnight, a couple of shows that are really integrated with social media, we have the same capabilities that they do.
Dennis, ask some questions. I'm trying to get a...
Yes, I know what you're doing.
I have a celebrity guest coming in. I need to get him in here.
Yes, you do. Yeah, it's really exciting. It's been fun to work with these guys. This is, you know, it's nice to be in this partnership relationship with School of Rock, to be able to do some of these more advanced things that, you know, the doors that are opened from this. It's going to be fun having Alex on the ground. I believe we're going to actually be pulling in her glass at various times, which is going to be really neat. You know, we're going to be talking with the bands themselves, and still the plan. I missed the last two meetings. Still planning on some recaps. Is that right?
Yes, yeah. Recap shows, and planning on talking to some rock stars, right?
Oh yeah.
Any names we can drop yet?
No. Here's where we sit. I'll publicly announce this so that maybe anybody from Summerfest who's listening will know. What we're waiting for right now is permission from Summerfest to broadcast from their grounds. We can broadcast from on Friday night. We have no problem broadcasting from the Horny Goat, which is where we'll be. There's a live stage. All the kids will be playing. They'll be fun. Saturday and Sundays within Summerfest grounds, we need to work out a relationship with them so we can broadcast. As soon as that's done, we'll open the doors up to all the cool stuff. You know, we've got guys like Earl Slick showing up for this, and so if you know who Earl Slick is, and I saw Phil go, yeah. So yeah, we will name drop as soon as we can.
Yeah, we're gonna name drop.
But until I know that we can actually broadcast at Summerfest, I don't want to say anything. I suppose I should look at these chat messages popping up here. So yeah, guys, go to Alex, if you want, you can pull up that spreadsheet and just kind of read some of the names on there. We don't know whether we'll be talking with these people or not, but these are the judges that are judging the kids. So did everybody get an explanation of what Gemba was? Does everybody know that?
No. You are giving it now.
Go ahead and give a good explanation of what it is that Gemba does, because it's only a piece of the Summerfest.
Right. So, Summerfest, big music festival. Gemba is the School of Rock Battle of the Bands inside of Summerfest. So they partner with Summerfest. They're playing cover songs. I mean, that's what the School of Rock does. These kids learn by performing on stage. So these kids have practiced hard. They've got their own individual bands from the schools that are representing that school, and they've got 2 or 3 songs to play. It is a battle of the bands. There's quarterfinals, semifinals, finals. They're getting judged. The judges are real seasoned rock and roll veterans, and so we are going to have the opportunity to talk with the bands, the school bands. I think we're going to pick a specific list because there's 36 of them at least, right? I think it was 36 bands participating.
There's over 50 of them.
Jeez.
Yeah.
Okay, so there's no way we talk to all 50 bands in one night, so we're going to have to just grab a few. The judges will be able to talk to you throughout the whole weekend. We don't have the schedule quite laid out yet because, this is a big thing. We don't know when we're going to have access to the judges. But we'll be doing a lot of canned footage as well as live footage. And I want to shout this out. We want footage from you guys. If you're at Summerfest, if you're at Gemba, and you have glass, you have a smartphone, you can come into the Hangout. We want your videos. We want your pictures. Christine and Dennis have organized this beautiful place where we can put all that stuff, and I'll let them explain. I got sidetracked. Battle of the Bands for the School of Rock. That's what Gemba is. And if you haven't heard the School of Rock, and Phil, I don't know if you've listened to any of the School of Rock music, but it's heads and tails above anything you've ever heard out of kids, just because of the way they learn.
Well, the big thing is that School of Rock is not just a music school. It's a performance school. So it's all about not just how you play, but how you engage with an audience, how so these kids are full on ready to be artists. This is not just, playing the music. There's so much more to being a rock star than being able to play the music. I'm sure, Phil, you can talk to that one.
Oh, absolutely. We don't have anything like that in the UK. I think the nearest we got to it was seeing Gene Simmons do a TV show called The School of Rock. But apart from that, we haven't had any exposure to it.
I'm surprised there isn't one in Britain. We'll have to look it up. I know they're placing them all over the world. They got 130 schools now, so we need one over there.
Yeah.
There you go. Phil, your next venture.
Okay, thank you. Fab.
So one of the challenges that we're going to have during and now John doesn't think it's a challenge. I think it's a challenge. So let's have Phil weigh in because he's got his opinion too. For these 3 days, there will be cover music playing in the background, in a live stream broadcast, and there will likely be content ID claims. Now, John says that it's okay. You just say accept, right?
I showed you the screenshot.
I know, but
I gotta say, we talked with Tom Rolfson about this, and he still had some reservations. We showed him the screenshot.
Okay.
So what was the screenshot? Bring me up to speed.
Well, I mean, Phil, do you get content ID notices on any tunes that are covers? Say, hey, this is not your stuff. Do you get those?
Well, we play safe. We don't do them. All of our sets that we put together and our music shows are all original material, or it's stuff that already exists on YouTube through our compositions. So we haven't gone there just in case something happens.
Okay. So I've been basically smacking this dragon throughout the last 2 months, recording video from the television, recording people singing other people's stuff directly from TV, posting it on YouTube, and waiting to see what I get content slap. Okay. Delvin singing Al Green was my first one, and it popped up and says, "We recognize that this is not yours. Do you agree?" Certainly do. Okay. Now what happens when you say, "Yep, it's not mine," okay, is they come back and say, "Would you like to monetize this? Is this a cover tune?" So they're already understanding that if you're playing cover tunes and you accept that it's not yours, you can agree that it's not yours, it's a cover tune, and get a piece of the pie if you want to monetize. This only matters if you agree to monetize. We are not going after passive income. I don't give a crap about passive income for this. So there's no monetization issues. All I have to say is, it's not my material, and I'm done. To date, I've had no issues with that. And as I've said, I've been smacking the dragon on a regular basis.
Well, we're gonna find out for sure this during Gemba 2014, I think. We did have one of our hangouts. It was who was playing a Lily Gray.
A Lily Gray, yeah, it was that one.
And they were playing their own music, but they had claimed Content ID on their own channel, I believe. Mm-hmm. So right as soon as the broadcast ended, it automatically popped up. There were 2 songs that the Content ID matched up, and I actually disputed it because I wrote in there that we had the rights to play it, that they had given us written permission.
Mm-hmm.
So, and that seemed to work, so that was good.
Yep.
But
that's how easy it is.
Well, that sounds fantastic, to be honest. It was worth coming on the show just for that, because that does open up a whole new world of possibilities, really. Especially for Dan, he's got he does some fantastic covers of Bob Dylan and Neil Young songs, and he's always said, well, I can't do those because we shut down, so maybe we can.
Well, one thing I wanted to talk about with you, Phil, is Sue has a video, The Homecoming, right, that has over 1 million views on YouTube.
Correct.
And she has others that have tens of thousands. And you said that you guys monetize this and make some income, and as being an indie musician, have kind of relied on YouTube as your window to the world.
Yep.
And now Max, and I'm going to butcher his last name. It's Huijgen, Huijgen, wrote a post yesterday. And it was saying that he asked, will Radiohead... Whoops, hold on, I can't get to the post. Always works. Did you guys read his post? You know what I'm talking about, right, Phil?
Yeah. It's about allegedly a game changer in relation to...
Oh, Max is back, and it
and
looks
he's
like...
in.
Yeah, it looks like he's not muted this time. I changed the settings last time he dropped in for a second. So
Okay, good.
we
Max,
may be able
are
to
you
talk
there?
Phil, what were you saying? Sorry, I couldn't. You got cut off. What were you saying there?
I'm trying to bring the post up as well. It's about the fact that it's supposed to be a game changer on YouTube, especially to do with indie musicians, or the big labels have made an agreement.
It says that Google is preparing a paid music service where you can listen to video clips ad-free and download them. All commercial labels have signed an agreement, but indie labels refuse. So Max wrote a post about this with a lot of links, and it's looking that it says the main threat is that Google is a complete boycott from YouTube for every label that doesn't sign an agreement. So we wanted to bring Max on to talk more about this.
I think that no musician or creative artist is going to say no to whatever Google wants to do with YouTube. We need to be seen out there. It's a platform for us to be seen. Whether it's somebody in Wisconsin buying some sheet music for a wedding because they've seen The Homecoming, or whether it's someone downloading some music in Canada because they've seen a YouTube video, and somebody might even download the YouTube video anyway. I mean, we have to just see it as it's marketing. That's how we view it.
I'd have to say, well, first of all, I agree with you, Phil, 100%. And there's no way the record industry is going to be able to battle Google on that. I mean, they figured out how to make their money. Give it up, people. This is where it's headed. All right.
Exactly. Yeah.
If the indie labels refuse to sign, it makes me wonder what's the deal like. Okay? Because if it's geared for the big people and screws the small people, then there's something we need to look at there.
Well, that's what it sounds like. It says that they're saying the offered conditions are not fair, and that Google refuses to. They have a representing agency called Merlin, and it's saying that Google is refusing to negotiate with them. That they have invited Universal, Warner Music, and Sony to talk in precise terms about the agreement, but the indie representative was ignored. That's what the post says.
Well, I'd hate to say it, but the indie representative is probably going to get ignored anyway because there's, I mean, it's all right. That's why you're independent.
Well, I think it's like it's like Spotify. What's the royalty rate? Something like 0.00000 every time you get played or something. But are you going to not be on there? I was saying in the green room initially we didn't go on there because we thought, well, it's just pointless. But then we thought, well, it's an easy way for people to play the music and discover it and share it. And it's no different to any other kind of social media. Is how I view Spotify. It's a way of sharing your stuff, and very easily across lots of different platforms and devices. And what we're looking for as an independent record label or musician is you're looking for those uber fans. You don't need, tens of thousands. It'd be nice to have them, but you just need a group of people that support your art, who are passionate about what you do. They want to be part of the story, and those are the people you want. And all of these devices and platforms are going to help you do it. Yep.
Yeah. I think the generic of that, Phil, is it's about exposure. And if you don't understand that these platforms are tools for exposure, they're not necessarily tools for profit. I mean, YouTube monetization. If you can make a living off YouTube monetization, great. But the majority of the world will not make a living off YouTube monetization.
No, it won't. And you have to understand. You have to remember, whatever you're doing, whatever seems to be nice and comfy at the moment, it will change. Something will come along, and will completely wipe it out. And you need to redo your business model. And for musicians, that's about every 12 weeks, probably.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, that's a great point. The other thing I want to bring up on that is I think there's a piece of resistance that we're not counting in here, and that's coming from the music printers. Hal Leonard is fighting digital tooth and nail because they have no interest in having their material out on the web. They're all about print. And so, you've got some old school players in the music industry that are doing their best to muck up the advancement of digital rights. And that's, I don't know where that sits, but it's kind of interesting to note that the people that write it down are the ones complaining the most about us being able to put it on the web. So there's
right. Well, I know Daria Musk joined in the conversation about this, and she's quite upset. She says that she's trying to figure out what this actually means for someone like her, who is truly an indie artist who was discovered, via Google Plus and YouTube. And she says she's hoping that Google doesn't go back on their "Don't be evil" motto. So.
Let's see. Hey guys, it's 6:30 and I got to bugger out of here. Thank you for having me on, Phil. I'd love to talk with you more another time.
Yeah, another time would be great. Okay, nice to meet you.
Yeah, and I'd love to get in touch with Al. Well, you're in touch with these guys. Love to bring you on during Gemba and just, if you're
that would be fantastic. Love to do that. Yeah.
And also the weekend that we're doing this, which is the 27th, 28th, and 29th. On the 29th, we'll have the Aston family is going to be playing on My Music Hangout. So it would be cool, to tie that in together.
Yes,
that would be cool. Yeah.
Alex, get Phil the list of artists. I know your history, Phil. See if you know any of these guys, because if we can connect the two of you through the Hangout, that'd be kind of cool.
Oh yeah, that'd be fun. Yeah, fantastic. Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, brilliant. Gosh, it's so exciting. Yeah, brilliant.
All right. See you guys later.
Bye, John.
Bye.
Max, are you with us yet? We're having trouble with getting Max.
Yeah.
I could see him. Well, I could see his avatar.
Hey, Christine.
Yes.
Why don't we have Alex go ahead and read through that list of some of the artists that'll be there? We know we won't have all of these on the show. We don't even know if we'll have, more than 3 or 4. But I think the list is very interesting of who these judges are. It says a lot to what Gemba is.
It does gladly. Just like an FYI, I know nothing about the music industry at all. I'm a total I'm a fish out of water in this. So I actually went online and researched every single one of these. And as I went down the list, I just got more and more nervous about the fact that I might be talking to these people.
Oh wait, we need to play a game while you read this off, and we need to, as you read them, Phil, yes or no, are they in your music collection?
Okay. Yeah.
Oh, this is a great game. Yes.
All right. First one, John mentioned Earl Slick.
Yes. Yeah, it's in my record collection. Yeah.
All right.
Second question to that, really quick. Do you know the guy?
Not personally, no. No, I've not shared a beer. I'm not shared a beer with him. That would be fab, but I haven't. No.
We love it when he says fab.
We do. In fact, that's our drinking word for the night. So everybody just, kick back a beer when you hear fab. Okay, go on.
I heard fab. All right. Number 2, Rich Redmond.
No.
No, he's the only artist or judge that we have that is in the country side of music, and he's a drummer. He's worked with some interesting people that I actually recognize. Greg Corner.
Uh-oh.
He's a DJ, so I wouldn't be that surprised.
Oh.
A very well-known DJ. He actually, now I have all these random facts because I looked. He DJ'd Obama's 50th birthday. I was like, that's cool.
Nice.
That's good. That's good at having your CV. Yeah, that's good.
Yeah. Jim Peterick.
That's the guy from Survivor, is it? I think.
It is.
Yeah.
Oh, he knows his music. Look at
Yes,
him.
He does.
Yeah,
Holy
yeah.
cow.
Yeah, it's in my collection. Yeah. The Tiger. Yeah.
Yeah. I read that he co-wrote that, and I was like, oh my gosh, I'm terrified. Next.
Yeah, that inspired your tattoo there, right?
Oh, it's actually a zebra. It's a zebra.
Okay, well, not a tiger. All right.
Next is Metal Mike.
No, familiar with the name, but I don't know what Metal Mike has doing.
I don't remember, but he helped.
Come on now.
Yeah, apparently some people say that the guitarist who helped Judas Priest vocalist Rob Halford reclaim status as true metal god.
Awesome.
Right. Yeah.
I don't know heavy metal at all, and of course in my research I was like listening to the music that these people contributed to. So at like 11 o'clock at night I was listening to heavy metal. I was like, it's time for bed.
You can't beat a bit of Judas Priest at 11 o'clock at night or 2 o'clock in the morning. That'd be fine.
Next, Dimitri Coates.
No.
Frontman for a hard rock band Burning Brides, I think, and guitarist in the hardcore punk band Off. He looked more recent. Yeah.
What are you saying?
I don't know that he's a recent. Maybe he's not.
It's not being around the block. It's not around the block like some of the others.
This one you'll probably know. Carl Restivo.
Not familiar with the name. If any of these people are watching, I probably have got you somewhere in my collection. I just can't. It is early in the morning.
He's done literally everything. He's a musician, songwriter, multi-instrumentalist. He's worked with so many artists. It's ridiculous. I don't even know where to start with him. He's pretty big with the School of Rock. James Williamson.
Now, who's he been with?
He is. I just know that he has been deemed punk's pioneer. Best known for contribution to Iggy and the Stooges.
Right.
Ooh, Iggy! Wow, he goes way back, doesn't he?
Yep.
Well, punk pioneer. That generally.
So was Punk Pioneer? Was he part of the New York Dolls then?
No, they just say that his style they think is where punk started. But he didn't work with many other people than Iggy and the Stooges.
Okay.
Next is Jimmy Chamberlain.
No, I'm not familiar with the name.
Spot here.
Yeah, really, I'll put me on the spot.
Former drummer of the Smashing Pumpkins.
Yeah, the Smashing Pumpkins are in my record collection. I just wasn't. Yeah, they're there. Yeah, they're there.
All right, 2 more. Zach Carruthers.
Who's in his resume? Who's he played with?
He is. He's in a. They literally just signed with Atlantic Records a couple years ago. Portugal the Man. They're just starting to make a name for themselves. They're just starting to get big. Finally, Damon Ranger.
Not familiar with the name, but might be familiar what he's done, who he's played with.
All I know is that he's a songwriter. That's his focus, is writing songs. So that's probably, I don't know songwriters. I don't know.
Those are the judges. So,
well, they say in the UK they sent us Gene Simmons. So that's what we had in the UK. We had School of Rock.
There you go.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, those are and that's just the judges. That's not tapping into what's going on around us in Summerfest at all.
Yeah, there are some great bands on. I had a look at the list before we came on air. It looks fantastic.
Your wife, Dennis, your wife just posted a comment that she partied with the lead singer of the Smashing Pumpkins. Don't tell Dennis.
I have
what do you not know about your wife?
Yeah. We're going to have, Cheryl?
Yeah.
We're going to have a conversation after.
That kind of put... Yeah, Dennis is on the spot now.
Wow.
Crazy.
Wow, I did not know this about her. Which is weird, because, like, I know a number... I talk all the time with her about some of the music people I've met throughout my life, so it's bizarre this never came up. Yeah, what else don't I know?
Yeah,
That's
I would be worried.
Christine. Yeah.
I would be worried.
Yeah, wow. So I know that one of the judges was involved in David Bowie's career, and I didn't hear you say that, Alex.
A few of them actually mentioned David Bowie, but the one that did the most was Earl Slick.
Okay. Yeah.
Well, Earl Slick goes way back, doesn't he? He was very active in the 70s, so with all sorts of bands like Ian Hunter and all sorts of rock bands. So he's been around a while.
Now, where John is mostly going to be, doing the broadcasting with the School of Rock, talking to the schools and the judges, and maybe getting some rock, some of the people that are playing to come on. You are planning on walking around the event and meeting and talking to people. Is that right, Alex?
Yeah, so kind of what we have laid out so far, we're still trying to narrow it down and fine-tune it as much as we can before we get there, because we know when we get there it's just going to be absolute chaos. Organized chaos, of course. Friday, we're mostly going to be sitting and interviewing, because that's when we have the most access to the bands and hopefully the judges that night. But Saturday and Sunday is really going to be a lot of traveling for me, it sounds like, which should be fun. It should be interesting. So I think that the person that I'll be co-hosting with is Rachel Gaines. She's with the School of Rock, so I'm kind of I'm the outsider looking in that's going to see these people and be like, oh my God, I don't know what to say. And she's going to be the level-headed that knows this world very well. So it should be really interesting. But it sounds like on Saturday and Sunday she'll be staying in that interview position, whereas I'll be going out with glass, maybe a GoPro, and just seeing who I find.
Awesome. Yeah, you definitely need to upload lots of pictures and all that stuff. It's going to be fun.
Yeah.
We're learning more about Cheryl tonight. Cheryl went backstage and, well, spent time with Crosby, Stills, Nash & Young in Vegas. And, of course, you know what happens in Vegas.
This one I understand why I don't know anything about.
She does realize you're on the show, right?
No.
I can see that they're starting to get upset.
I could throw something and hit her right now. She's so close to me.
but yeah, so Max said that he wasn't able to get in. He was having some kind of endless upgrade loop on Hangouts. I know a lot of people have been having problems with them. But yeah, so it'll be interesting to see what happens with that whole YouTube, Google, indie thing.
I think you have to balance it out that if that's going to change, the fact is we've got the technology thanks to Google through Google Hangouts on Air to actually broadcast live music events that we couldn't have done a year ago. So it's a balance, really. There's other ways now of using platforms that Google are giving us to get our music out there. Even though I'm sure Google could make it a lot easier if they wanted to. Even doing normal Hangouts on Air, which I would class this as, is fraught with Google gremlins. Doing a music Hangout on Air, a live concert from within the Hangout on Air thing isn't easy, as we found. Even though we've made lots of progress and we've had lots of great compliments from around the world on what we've achieved, it hasn't been an easy ride. And up until the first Phil Aston show we did, literally 13 minutes before we went live, we almost pulled the plug and just went back to making cakes or something, because it was just so hard to do. And I think some of the problems is actually with the technology itself, not with the creativity or the imagination of the musicians.
Well, and then even when you do have things, you now have things very well. But I know one of the shows I watched, when you guys at the last song, I think you forgot to turn studio mode back on.
Yeah.
And it's just like something like that. It can just make a difference.
We have to. What we found was that we've got a fantastic upload speed here of about 20 megabytes per second. We didn't always have that. In the first show, we had about 9. But what we found was we were trying to broadcast in HD video, and because so much of the bandwidth is given to the video, there's not enough room for the audio to get through, no matter what we tried to do. So what was happening was every test we did, the video was freezing or stuttering or going out of sync. So what we had to do was downgrade the video within the Hangout toolbox down a notch, so it wasn't HD, which gave us more bandwidth for the audio. Mm-hmm. And also we had to use proper microphones, so we had to spend quite a bit of money on ribbon mics and stuff, and put different positioning, and the amps are in different parts of the house. But there's a limitation, I think, within the actual Google Hangout technology at the moment. So we put an emphasis on the sound rather than the picture. So although I'm now hopefully in reasonable HD, when we do the next Phil Aston show on Sunday, the video will be a bit more furry and fuzzy around the edges, but it will give more room for the audio to be tweaked, really.
Right, right.
One thing that we've found, Phil, I don't know if you've tried this one, but we run our audio as a separate link. So that particular feed is only sending up an audio feed, and we turn off the camera for that one computer connected to the link.
Right.
I don't know if you've tried that as well, but that certainly has helped us with syncing.
Well, I mean, that's a good idea. I mean, as Christine was saying, the other thing, and remembering, and this is why I get the name Phil the Hand Aston, is because while Sue and Dan are playing the music, I'm swapping between studio and voice setting at the end of every piece of music, every time they talk, which is a real pain and it really. But this doesn't seem to be any way around that. We are actually on Sunday using more machines because we're going to use more than one camera angle. So we're expanding on using our imagination. But again, because we've got a bigger upload speed now, we can try that. So I'll certainly bear that in mind, Dennis, about just sending the audio through one machine rather than trying to get it all through the one.
Yeah, you know, from our standpoint, we're always doing like heavy rock, you know, shows. So far, we have been anyway.
That's
and
good.
So we've just left the studio on even during the interview portion.
And how's that? I mean, how does that work? Because we've actually almost thought about doing that for the next show, thinking, oh, you know, sod it, let's just leave it on studio setting, because you end up forgetting to stick it back.
Yes, exactly, and that's why we decided to leave it. So here's the thing: I would not put. Well, here I'm gonna, just so that people can see this. I'm gonna put myself in studio mode right now. In studio mode, and there is a very clear reason why when somebody is talking in a show like this, you really don't want them in studio mode. This just sounds weird. Right?
No, it sounds pants, actually. Yeah. So I take back what I've just said. We're not going to do that.
No, but here's the thing: when it's a music show, we find that it still works quite well, and you know, largely because of the bands, and you know, we're also putting the thing through a mixing board beforehand, so it takes out some of that weird sound. But take a look at some of our shows and see what you think, Phil.
Yeah, I will do. I mean, we go through a Behringer mixer before it enters the computer, so I'll give it a go. But I think especially for the music shows that I produce, they are music and chat. So they're not just, you know, we'll do 3 songs straight off and then we'll just say that this is off the first album and now we're going to do a new one and we're straight into it. There's actually a lot more chat, so it kind of makes sense to move back from one to the other. But I'll go back through your archive and give them a listen.
Yeah, and watch the Ars Nova one, because I did not realize that it was in studio mode the whole time they were talking. I actually didn't notice.
Oh, right,
yeah.
Okay.
So,
yeah, and he is not going through a mixing board or anything. It's a single condenser mic on that show that they had set up with in a very small room. Everything should have been against that show.
Yeah.
But it really came out pretty well.
Really well.
Honestly.
Wow. Yeah.
So that would be probably the best one to check out.
Yeah. Yeah, because when we started and we were just trying to use Yetis and snowball mics, it just didn't happen at all. So we have various microphones set up towards the ceiling and all sorts of places to get the mix right. But what we would really want to do, if we could, would be to go back to using HD video while maintaining the level of sound quality that we get, really.
And
that would be our ideal solution.
I think you can do that if you run your audio through a separate machine, just doing only the audio. In fact, we actually not only do that, we turn down the bandwidth settings when we're running the audio through that machine as well, to the middle setting. For some reason, the audio quality is better if we turn down the audio machine's bandwidth. Play with it. Who knows?
Well, I mean, we do turn down the bandwidth on to get the sound that we do, so that makes perfect sense, really. So, fantastic.
Yep.
Fab,
you know,
even. Yeah.
Fab, thank you.
Yeah.
I mean, we're all learning together, right? We're all trying, all over the world, people are trying to do the same stuff that you and I are, and, you know, Christine, and, you know, that's why we're now working with SEO-Wise and John, because he's trying to do the same thing, and, you know, the best thing we can all do is learn from each other.
Exactly, yeah, brilliant.
I want to bring up a couple comments. We've got Tom Rolfson. He says he's looking forward to Phil Aston's next production, that you're carrying the torch and pioneering Hangout concerts awesomely. And,
thanks, Tom. Thank you.
You do have, Sue has a show that you're producing this coming Sunday, right?
Yes, indeed, which is 6 p.m. in the UK. Oh, seems such a normal time.
1 p.m. Eastern. And on the 29th it's Sunday, June 29th, we are having a very special episode of Bandwidth Hangout on Air, and we're featuring the entire Aston family, and we're doing it at a normal time. It's normal for them. So we adjusted our time.
Yeah,
it's going to be at 1 p.m. Eastern, which is 6 p.m. UK. And this is when you're really going to see the magic of Phil Aston, because he's not only going to produce it, he's going to play. And it will be the first Hangout on Air that you have played music in, right?
It will, yes, it will indeed. Yeah, so it'll be like it'll be like series 1 of the Partridge Family. It will be that's what we're heading for.
You guys are the Partridge Family, as far as I'm concerned. So.
You know, I'm from Utah. I'm going with the Osmonds, but anyway, it's all in the same genre, right?
They're as cool as the Osmonds, but they're as sweet as the Partridge Family. So it's kind of like, you know. It's really a cool mix.
Yeah, but it will be interesting how we're going to try and maintain the level of sound when we're all in the frame at the same time. So that'll be a challenge. It has to be said, because there'll be electric guitars, acoustic instruments, violins, classical stuff, and voice as well. So it will be out there anyway. And thanks very much for inviting us all on. We're in deep rehearsals as we speak.
We cannot wait to have you. We'd actually like to, maybe we could do it on Sunday. We'd like to have a test and, you know, maybe get one song that we can release early and tease people with.
Yeah.
I have another comment here from Gavin Wolf, and he's speaking gibberish here, so you guys translate, because I don't read. The HOA studio mode audio codec is also very particular with regard to gain and easy to overload. Tunage is very important and can be quite temperamental. Now, of course, I did not understand a single word in there.
No, I understand that. Gavin's absolutely right, because when you have to err on the side of cautiousness, really. If there's been a criticism on some of our shows, is that people have got their the volume on their computers up to the absolute top to hear it at a reasonable volume, unless you're playing it through your hi-fi, and then you've got more range. But we do that because if you push, although it's so easy to do, to push the gain through the mixer, it can overload so easily. It'll clip. It is very, very sensitive to overcooking, and also the EQ as well on the mixer. We do turn down the top end and some of the mid ranges to get the sound that we get especially with the violin, which is a very difficult instrument to mic up anyway. So we have to be very careful with what we do with the EQ on the shows, which is why when we all appear at the same time, it will be even more of an adventure, really.
And you were saying in the green room about Nate. How do you say his last name? I forget his last name.
It's Nate Naingard, I think.
Yeah, and he was doing. He had just started doing a weekly show as well, and he said that he stopped, and just because it is so hard to do everything by yourself, right?
Yeah, and he was doing, and fair play to him, because he was doing very well in doing it all on his own. But it is too much. It's too much to try and voice studio mixing. You know, granted, it's just voice and guitar, but it's still a lot to think of. So many things can happen. You know, before we do all of our shows, we do a test run to make sure everything was working as it was the last time we used it, because you never know with Google, something might have just changed slightly. So it is more fraught, I think, and there's probably easier ways of presenting a live show online than using Hangout on Air. But for us, because we feel like we're now, you know, don't regret saying this, we're winning in some respects, and it is helping us get the music out there. And the fact we're making contacts with people like you, Christine, and Dennis, and people from all around the world are commenting and you know, and interacting with us that we never had before. So to us, it's well worth doing.
Yes, and I love, you know, I love Sue's music. I love Dan's music. I think it's beautiful, but I think that you know, being able to connect with them as well, and the conversation about the music And talking with them, it's like, you know, it made me fall in love with you guys. I'm like, you guys are just the sweetest things, you know. So.
Oh gosh, fantastic! Thank you very much.
I think it will take it to a new level of you know, fandom kind of thing where people just really are able to get to know the bands and the people that, you know, it's so easy to you know.
I think that I think that this is where I'm not overly concerned and about the YouTube issue, and I think Daria, I saw her concerns, but she's a good example of someone who, you know, the story, so you fall in love with the story, and then you listen to the music and the art that the person is producing. And I think that is the way forward for indie musicians. It's more than just playing your tunes and sticking them out there in a little bit of artwork. It's actually you're telling a story and you're making people want to be part of that. It's you know, like Sue's Coastal Composer project. It's like there's a romanticism of someone walking along the cliffs with a violin, and people are drawn in by that story. And so it's and this is where the Hangouts are there, and having the chat is a chance for you to get to know the musician and what makes them, what inspires them, what makes that person produce the work that they do.
Right, right, definitely. I have to bring up one more comment from Gavin. He says, oh wait, that was the same one. There we go. Haha, sorry for the techno mumbo jumbo. With that said, a limiter is very handy in addition to a mixing board for studio mode. I think he's messing with me now.
No, he's not. He's absolutely right. Yeah. If you don't have a limiter, then you're going to have to do what Phil was talking about, keeping control within your mixing board and with the volumes that you are pushing out.
Yeah.
A limiter will automatically stop clipping, you know, like that.
Yeah.
Well, we're already at our hour. I want to do, you know, a couple announcements and then try to do some giveaways too. But definitely this Sunday, check out Sue Aston's show, and you can we'll post a link to that. The following Sunday, check out the Aston Family Show here on My Music Hangout, and that's going to be a great time. And we have some special guests coming. We have Mia Voss, we have Chef Dennis, we have Irene Brody. We have a couple others, so it should be a great time. And then Gemba 2014 is coming, and we are going to start promoting it hard. Hopefully tomorrow we're going to have all our approvals and can get our event set up. And then me and Alex have a lot of work to do to promote it, and then she's got a lot of work to do out there, boots on the ground at Summerfest. So we're really excited. So we're going to be broadcasting live from My Music Hangout, Gemba 2014, which is School Rock Battle of the Bands, for 3 days and 3 nights, and it's going to be insane. Right? Insane?
Insane.
Yeah.
Insane is one way to put it, and I just want to remind everybody, any sort of participation you want to do, any sort of comments, if you're on the ground or if you're joining us virtually, just always add the hashtag Gemba2014, and we will be able to find it. I just want to reiterate that, and we're
going to be pulling them into the broadcast, and you know, it's going to be fun. And
so you'll get recognition for it, and then of course throughout the days we'll be giving away swag. I can't say exactly what it will be yet, but there will be smaller prizes and larger prizes, so definitely stay tuned for those.
So, do we have anything to give away today?
We do. Apparently, we have guitar picks galore. So,
oh boy.
So, anyone that is interested in a guitar pick, please just put in a comment, any sort of comment, and add the hashtag Gemba2014. We want to get you guys into the habit of adding that hashtag Gemba2014. So we do have guitar picks for everybody and anybody, and I did come up with some questions so that we have other prizes for tonight. We have some, I think it's hats.
School of Rock hats, I believe.
Yes, School of Rock hats. So I have 2 questions that I came up with, and basically whoever answers first wins.
Okay.
I assume that's how this is going. Okay, question number 1. Who became the music director of the Paul Green School of Rock in Hollywood, California in 2006, leaving the position in 2010 to co-found the Rock School Scholarship Fund? The big thing for this, I'll give you guys a hint, it's really easy to find in Google, Wikipedia. The Rock School Scholarship Fund. He's really well known for that. So that's question number 1.
Okay, so first person to leave the in the comments and make sure you hashtag it Gemba2014, and you can win a hat. And what's the next question?
Okay, question number 2. What does Gemba mean?
Well, that's a good one too.
That's number 2. And just so everybody knows, what it means, School of Rock recognizes the stage as Gemba. So once you find out what that means, it totally makes sense.
Okay, so to answer your question in the comments and tag it with hashtag Gemba2014. And oh, okay, some people are already saying they need picks, so that's good. Tom Rolfson wants to know if we will deliver the pick in person. Actually, Alex, you can, because he is going to Gemba, or he's going to Summerfest.
Okay,
so,
then yes, Tom, I will.
There you go. And Linda Hefferman is here. Can you? And she is the. Is she the CEO of the School of Rock?
She isn't. She does their she basically does their media and marketing. Okay. But Linda, hi Linda, I love Linda. She's so fantastic. The great thing about working with the School of Rock is the more people you meet, the more you love it. Like, it's just, I recently found out, John has known about it forever, and I recently found out about it, and it's just the more people I meet that work with the School of Rock, I'm like, this is so cool. I mean, they're tatted. They're all have some sort of association with rock. They're so cool.
John was telling me that every school, and there's what, over 100 schools around the world, mm-hmm. and every school has a rock star representing the school or working at the school. Is that correct?
Yeah. If it isn't, a lot of the schools, from what I understand, a lot of the schools are actually started by rock stars that really believe in the mission of the School of Rock. But if it isn't founded by a rock star, they have a lot of their teachers are really well-known rock stars. They bring in some mentors that are really well-known rock stars. So even if they aren't actually located at the school, at some point the students will eventually meet a pretty significant musician at some point, definitely.
Awesome. Yeah, and it is really cool that these kids are going to have a chance to play on these stages right there with all these rock stars, right in the middle of the world's biggest music concert. That's really cool.
In my opinion, it's just absolutely admirable. I mean, I was told that the youngest student that is going to this is 10. They have a couple of 10-year-olds. I mean, I can't imagine doing anything on a stage at my age, and I mean at 10, that is absolutely incredible to me, especially as someone who teaches public communication. And I have terrified 18-year-olds that can't give a speech. I mean, performing in front of thousands and thousands of people, that is absolutely insane.
Absolutely. Let's see. Well, I wonder if Linda would like to come in for a minute. You think she would?
She might.
Want to send her an invite?
Yeah, I've got a chat going with Linda right now on some other stuff, so...
All right, why don't you send her an invite, see if she wants to jump in for just a few minutes. We can go long.
We can go long, especially
poor Phil, he's like, wait a minute. I was just like 3 in the morning, like, what do you mean we're going to go long?
Yeah, let's just keep going. Yeah, it's 10 past 3 in the morning here. Even the cats have gone back to sleep.
Personally, Bill, I think we need to shift our times back and make you a regular.
I have to say, well, yeah,
Linda right now and other stuff. So.
All right, why don't you send her an invite? See if she wants to jump in for Linda. Maybe
Okay, I muted her.
Oh, and she needs to turn off her video.
Yeah, she needs to turn off her video.
Well, what do you think, Phil? Would you like to do that?
I would like to do that. As Dennis said, there's not that many of us doing live concerts on Hangouts on air, and I think the fact we can all learn from each other, and I would be delighted to be part of this or to help out in any way I can.
Yeah, when Dennis and I were talking, we said, you know, we really probably do need to put the time back on, you know, at least the talk shows every other week, so that we can, because we have a lot of people in Europe that we know that are music.
Exactly. And if it is just a little bit earlier, then I'll be able to have a glass of wine as well. It's just that little bit.
Yeah, well, and the other thing that, you know,
that would be fab.
Drink.
That would be fab. Everybody drink. Go drink. Here's my Dr. Pepper.
Linda, do you want to try to unmute now? Sorry about that. She's going to need to unmute.
There we go.
There she is.
Unmuted.
Hi, Linda.
Hi, everybody.
How are you?
Hey, I'm great. I just caught the end of it. I just got home from running around, so I caught the end of just all the technical stuff that you guys are working out on this Hangout, and I just have to say I can't thank you enough for hosting our Gemba event.
We are so excited.
It is going to be so cool. It's really going to be cool. It's becoming so much bigger than we could have dreamed, and to have people who have been doing this and know what they're doing helping us out, because we have no idea. We know how to create a big music event, but to actually do this piece of it. And the thing that I'm the most excited about actually is, and Phil, what you were saying really kind of hit home for me, and one of the things that one of the reasons I really want to bring School of Rock to Google Plus and bring Google Plus to School of Rock is that we have so many really talented kids who are going out into the world. They're making their own music. You know, we play covers, kind of that's the way we teach, but they're creating bands and doing their own music. And I want to be able to show them what an incredible opportunity and space that Google Plus is, to connect with people worldwide and to build an audience and to build a community. It's such an amazing thing. I mean, I haven't been on this Google Plus thing for very long, but I already feel like I have lifelong friends, and I know that it's just going to be such a great thing for them to discover, because they say, well, nobody's on Google Plus, and I'm like, well, wait a minute, though. The whole world is on Google Plus.
It's a fantastic opportunity. I remember that the first show that the first Phil Aston show we did, and we weren't sure who was going to go. I think when we went live, it said there was going to be about 18, 20 people were going to go. I think by the end of the show, I think about 50 had gone. But what happened afterwards was we had emails from people in Brazil, Italy, Canada, USA, several places there, Australia, people actually communicating with Sue, talking about the music she'd played, asking about the stories behind it. And those 12, there was about 12 people that have now become like personal fans, and it was such a fantastic feeling to think that the music was touching people across the world. So it wouldn't have made any difference if there'd been 2,000 people. It was the fact that people were interacting, you know, with the music in a way that I don't think you could do. You couldn't have done before. It's not the same. You could have played an open mic night in a bar, perhaps, and people would have carried on talking in the background, and maybe somebody might have come up to you at the end of the night and said, yeah, that was all right, or that was good. So in a way, the Hangout on air, you might have a small audience to start with, but the interactivity and the kind of enthusiasm that drives through the creator of the art itself is fantastic. And I think for young people, it's a fantastic way of realizing that there, as Daria said, I think in one of her early videos, there are no doors, there are no borders on Google Plus. It's just out there, and it's a fantastic opportunity.
Yeah, I think, you know, I think that at first, you know, like Phil, one thing that you said is you didn't have that expectation that you were going to get thousands of viewers, you know, but you got really engaged viewers and people who just fell in love with you guys. I think I did, going into this, have the expectation that, you know, oh, you're gonna put up a music thing and you're gonna get thousands of people and it's gonna be great. And I know Dennis and I, at one point, we were a little disappointed with the numbers, but then we talked to some people and we got some different perspective. And, you know, it's more about connecting with the right people than the mass of people. You know, you connect with the people who want, for example, you know, Sue is connecting with the people who love her music and who love her. And, you know, it doesn't matter if it's not hundreds of thousands of people who are mildly interested. You know, she's building an audience of people who love her. And I think that's a big difference.
I think there is also, I don't know whether it's like this in the States for Google+, but it is. I mean, people talk about it being a social layer within a business tool. It's not seen as maybe a social media platform as such. And a lot of music fans are on Facebook. You know, if you look at the official, I think I'd mentioned the official Led Zeppelin page on Google+, it has a few thousand people. I think it might actually be just a few hundred, actually. And then you look on Facebook, and it's something like 17 million people like the page. So a lot of music fans are on Facebook, and that's where they're probably going to stay. So I think what we've done with the Hangouts and Air is actually let people, you know, watch the live YouTube stream. We've posted the videos afterwards, and Sue's building up a following of people watching the shows after the event on Facebook. And I know with things like 22 Social, is it? There might be ways of actually integrating the Hangout on Air within Facebook platform. So I think it's the kind of the main spark for us is the Hangout on Air. That's the vehicle that's giving us the opportunity.
You know, one of the requirements I have after every one of the shows is to have the band come. They're not allowed to tear down their equipment until they come and look over my shoulder at the engagement. And it's always fun to see their eyes. You know, I'll say before the show, this is the requirement, this is what is expected of you after the show, and you probably won't believe it. And they're just like, what? You mean all these people were commenting about our music? Are you kidding me? You know, and it's comment after comment after comment, and, you know, it's a real eye-opener, the way that people engage here. You know, and I mean, we've got a number of our regular viewers watching right now. If I say 5-State Killing Spree, if I say Mukti, if I say... you know, Christine, some
Lily
of the other
Gray.
bands.
Lily Gray.
You know.
Ars Nova.
Ars Nova. You know, what
they love them. They're like, I think they feel a connection because they're not just listening to the music, but we're interviewing them, and they're getting to hear, you know, like how they thought of the songs, and, you know, who would influence them. And I think for the School of Rock, you know, if these kids can, you know, really get involved here in these schools on Google+, and I think that they would have that, oh my gosh, you know, look at these people, and they're talking to me, and they are listening to my music, and I can talk to them, and I think it will be awesome. Let's get them all over here, Linda.
Yeah.
I'm working on it. We actually have a group in Portland, Oregon, which is where I'm based. We're sending a foursome. They're all about 16 years old, and they are writing some kick-ass music, and they're bringing their original music to Gemba. They're the only school that's bringing originals, and since John from SEO Wise is here in Portland, I definitely want to hook them up together and see if we can introduce them to Hangout on Air, because I think it's going to blow their minds. They're just, They are the cutest boys, and they would hate me if they heard me say that. But I can say that because they're my boys. And just the way that they conduct themselves, I'm just so proud of them. And I'm really proud that they're bringing their own music, and I'm excited for the world to see them. And then again, it's like I was talking to them on Sunday. I came into the rehearsal, And I said, you know, you guys should think about Google+. It's like, well, nobody's on Google+. So this is our opportunity to show them that that's not true. And I really, again, I can't say enough how much I appreciate you guys for just being the voice for this event at School of Rock. It's just, it means the world to us, all of us. And it's been fun, and I can't wait to see what it's going to be. And yeah.
I think it will mean a lot. Sorry, I think it will mean a lot to them, Linda. The kids that you're just talking about, is that the fact that they might have somebody watching who is from the UK or Germany, and that will mean a lot to them. The fact that somebody from thousands of miles away has tuned in and liked their music. When you're as an independent musician, you hope to sell some music. You might have a download here. You might sell a CD. And you know, for Sue, when she sells a CD, it might be an autographed copy that goes off to somebody in Toronto, Canada. And the chances of her ever playing there was never. It's very, very slim, because you'd need, you know, the money to do it. You'd need the audience, etc. But now, that fan in Toronto, Canada, can now watch a Sue Aston concert without. They can actually talk to her. And they can watch her play live. They can actually see the music that they bought, and that is a connection that was never available before. And that is a magical thing. I mean, when we did the first show, and is it Lance from? I can't remember his second name. He's from New Orleans.
Oh, Lance Fields.
Yeah, Lance Fields. He gave us some wonderful comments, and it was just magical. But all of a sudden, we were looking it up on Google Earth.
I have to tell you something.
We have a fan. You know.
I have to tell you something neat about Lance. He's in New Orleans. Daria Musk was playing in New Orleans at the House of Blues. Her and I and him were all talking on a chat. She gave him free tickets to the show. He went to the show. I was on the Hangout chat of the live concert, which was up on the stage behind Daria. And I'm up on the screen holding up a sign that said "Hi, Lance Fields," and he's in the audience, and it was just like so cool, you know. It's really neat.
We watched that one. That was fantastic. That was brilliant.
Absolutely. Yeah, he actually called me before the show on his phone, and he held up the phone as people were having a parade in New Orleans to go into the House of Blues, music, all kinds of stuff. He holds up the phone with me on it, and he's like, "Everybody, say hi to Christine. She's going to be on the screen on the show." And they're all like, "Hi, Christine!" It was so neat. You know, it's like I would have never gotten to see that before. And, you know, these connections are just really cool.
Yeah, it's magical.
So, it is.
I'm so excited. Phil, thank you so much for that, because I can't wait to see what's going to happen out of this. Because it's magical. It's really going to blow their minds.
Yep.
And, you know, the stuff that John is doing is amazing. You know, I saw some of the tests, and he was trying to I don't know if, Alex, was that the first time you saw the end result as well? He was trying to explain it, and I did not know what he was talking about.
Yeah, he does that all the time. He gets really excited, and he starts going through all the technical stuff, and I'm like, John.
He's like, yeah, he's gonna, you know, I don't know. I'm not even gonna say the techno mumbo jumbo.
Like, but then show me your picture.
I said, well, do you have a link or something? And he sent me a link, and I'm like, wow. You know?
I think his excitement is that. For the producer, you spend so much angst and pain trying to get this thing to work. For the musician, the musician turns up, plays, and goes, "Yeah, well, okay, that was good." But and because it's such a challenge that when you do actually succeed in reaching what you feel is a new level that you didn't think you could get to, you just want to tell everybody about it. So I understand why he goes on about that. It's fine.
Yeah. And I had the stomach flu yesterday, but I often sit in these meetings and play translator because, you know, John gets the geek, but he doesn't understand some of the, you know, the nuances of Christine's magic of, you know, I mean, she's the connection queen for a reason. And so the two of them start talking past each other, and I get to sit there in these meetings and play translator.
I want to bring up a comment by Tom Rolfson. Now, Linda, I don't know if you know Tom, but Tom did the very first music hangout, and it was a Darian Musk. It was actually the very first hangout, I think, but it was a Darian Musk concert. He said to remind the kids at the school that Gigam, Billboard, HuffPo, NBC, New York Times, and many other trade magazines have followed and written about musicians doing hangouts on Google+.
Wow, that's powerful. Thank you for that. That is pretty awesome.
It is awesome. Yes, it definitely is awesome. Max is trying to get back in, but I don't know if we're going to be able to get him in or not.
It is such a bummer that we've had this difficulty with Max. I love his persistence, though.
Definitely.
Oh, yeah. So, hey, so I got a question here. I don't know the answer to this. We've got two answers at exactly the same time to Gemba. So I want to throw this out. Tom Rolfson was first, but Sonny Cadwallader came in right behind with, I think, a more complete answer. So
I'm sure we could scrape up more prizes.
Oh, well, there you go. I still like to have a winner. So if we can scrape up prizes for both of them, I think they both deserve it. But Linda, I want you to be the final judge on which of these two, if the second one actually makes enough clarification that it deserves to be a winner, or if Tom is good enough to be a winner based on time. So Tom was first with Gemba equals the real place, hashtag Gemba 2014. Sonny Cadwallader, seconds later, Gemba equals the real place or at the site, hashtag Gemba 2014. So is the added clarification enough to make Sonny number one, or is Tom number one because he came first? What do you say, Linda?
Oh, you put such a hard thing on me. I have to choose. I don't ever want to choose.
It's a bit unfair.
Everybody gets their stage time. You know what? They're both, I have to say they're both right, because it is the real place, and that's what Gemba means for us. The real place where it happens is the stage for us. That's where all the teaching happens. That's where the magic happens. I have said to people that that's where the Kool-Aid gets drunk, because once the kids get to the stage, they're hooked, and they just, you know, we end up having kids that stay for 8 years, or until they're too old to be in School of Rock. So I just have to say that
Tom, ladies and gentlemen, give it to Sonny.
Oh, there you go.
Tom actually will be at Summerfest, so he would like a hug instead from somebody at the show.
Find us.
Alex, what do you say? Alex is giving hugs.
And
I will give hugs all day, every day.
And Linda and Alex, Tom has offered any help that you guys need. He will be there, and just reach out to him and let John know as well.
And this is the guy that invented Hangouts on Air.
Oh my God.
The first Hangout on Air ever was not actually a Hangout on Air, and Google came back to Tom and went, "That was cool. We should do what you were doing."
Wow.
Tom needs to come in and tell you about that. He told us about it in our last show. Yeah. And he says he just got off a job site, so he's
on the road, so unfortunately can't join us. But we love Tom and all the help. Tom, thank you so much. You are a legend.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
He's a master at helping, isn't he, Phil?
Yes, he is. He's fab. He's fantastic. Yeah.
He's fab. Drink, everybody, drink.
I think he set you up to say that.
I'm excited to meet him. That's awesome. You know, we also have there's the event that we have on Friday, the warm-up event at the Horny Goat in Milwaukee. We're going to be running interviews all day that day. It goes from 2 in the afternoon all the way till midnight. You know, it's free. So if he wants to come, we're going to be in one place. We're going to probably run a lot of stuff there. And then most likely our home base at Summerfest is going to be the BMO Harris stage. So Tom, come find us. I'm really looking forward to meeting you.
I'm sure he definitely will.
Yeah.
Well, what do you think, Dennis? We went a half hour over. I think we need to let Phil go to bed. It's now 3:30 his time.
Or 4:30 or something like that.
Something ridiculous.
3:30. Yeah, 3:30.
You can have an hour and a half sleep.
Thanks.
Enjoy.
Yeah.
So just to recap, this Sunday, go see Sue Aston, and we'll put a link in. She's having a concert. And then the following Sunday, the entire Aston family will be here on My Music Hangout. And that same weekend, the 27th, 8th, and 9th, we are Gambit 2014, broadcasting live day and night around the clock. And we'll be talking to Linda, and we'll be talking to Alex, and we'll be talking to rock stars, and we'll be giving away swag, and it's gonna be off the chain.
Epic! and we have some other European people that have reached out to us. So this show with Phil is going to become a once-a-month thing because we've had so many people from Europe wanting to come on and do bandwidth remote shows like we're doing with the Aston family. So, at least once a month we'll do a music show at an hour that works for Europe. And I think based on the conversation, Christine and I and Phil are going to have to talk. This show may possibly
I think we need to go a little earlier so we can have Phil as a regular, I think.
Yeah, I'd absolutely love that. So I absolutely would. Thank you very much. Thank you.
All right. Good deal.
Our resident music collection and Hangout producer expert.
Great. Thank you.
Hey, wait, I know something about music hangouts. I don't have a collection.
Absolutely.
Of this stuff. All right, yeah. Anything else to add, Christine?
I don't think so. Anything else? Tweet out and Gambit 2014.
Yes.
It's going to be exciting. Start paying attention. We're going to be promoting starting, I hope, tomorrow.
Hopefully.
Yes. And
Summerfest.
Yep. Use the hashtag. Use it a lot. We're going to be working with Lee Smallwood NodeX to be tracking all of that stuff. So thank you, Lee, for your help with that. So use the hashtags. Get active. Blow this event up for School of Rock. And, let's show those kids how much we love them.
Thank you guys so much. Oh my God, I'm just overwhelmed by your enthusiasm. And Phil, it's so great to meet you. I can't wait to hear Sue's music.
Oh, thank you.
And the
nice
whole
to meet
family.
you as well. Yeah. Thank you.
They're the Partridge family / Osborne family. They're as cool as the Osbornes, but it's the Partridge family. So it's a
okay. Cool... You know what, Christine? You didn't hear what I said. I couldn't understand why you were saying as cool as, because I was going Utah tie-in. The Osmonds, Osmonds, like Donnie and Marie, and I'm like, you're talking cool.
Osborne.
I'm like,
sorry.
the Partridges were cooler.
I thought you said Osborne. You're right. I was thinking Ozzy Osbourne family. I'm like, I'm not going to compare them with that.
No.
The Osbornes are not Mormon, and they're not from Utah. Let's just be clear, if anyone was ever wondering at all. Okay, and on that note, we're going to end this show as weird as we end any other show.
All right. Good night, everybody.
Thanks so much for watching. We'll see you.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Thank you.